So
I'm just thinking what I'm going to say. So
Yeah, no, it's
it's on the laptop, is it?
yeah, it'll be on the laptop.
In case I need to move it a bit. Look at that, transformed.
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it?
Incredible.
So you're Ashley.
Basically, I do a lot of work around like this like human technology interaction, and looking at this kind of weird time within where technology is becoming more and more like ingrained in like humans.
Right, and how have you incorporated that into your work?
So I started with like a look into like transhumanism, which is like a philosophical belief that the next form of evolution for humans is for them to be like genetically like modified and be like merged with technology. That's like they see that as the next form of evolution for humans. So I kind of do a lot of work around that. Yeah, I do quite a bit of audio work where the automated voice is kind of involved in it, and this kind of like robot human.
What's inspired this in you?
What inspired it in me? It started off with the human. With the automated voice, because I started looking into, or started being more aware of kind of like the female automated voice.
Give
so
me an
like
example.
on like trains.
Give me an example.
On trains, when it's kind of this female voice of, it's always used in services, so like on trains, on kind of, and it's almost like a reassuring, like soft kind of thing. And I also played that around where I was putting stuff into like automated voice and it was coming out, and whenever it was put in the female tone and kind of slowed down, it was very like sexualized, and I found that quite interesting, because it's like it's a computer talk, and like kind of why has it got these like connotations or whatever.
Interesting that, because we see so much now, for instance, you mentioned the sexualization of it.
Yeah.
There's all these like doll things coming in from Japan and what have you. Again, obviously female form.
Yeah, well that's kind of what my dissertation is almost about. But looking at like, again, as sex robots, and how even like the term sex robot, it's just assumed that it's like female. Like it's always like, the amount of research being done around it, it's just constantly, it's always been. I think I found like one video where there's a company that at the last 10 seconds of it go, oh, we are making male ones, but they're kind of still in progress. So yeah, the kind of sex doll thing again. But I've read like quite an interesting article where it talks about, because people are quite quick to shut down this whole sex robot thing, and people, how can we have relationships with robots and like all this. But I read an article which kind of like flipped it on its head and was like, if we were to move away from these like this gender like stereotypes, so like stop making these sex dolls like Barbies and all this, it could be a way forward of like being more like sex positive and kind of dealing with that. It could be used as a tool to kind of like progress rather than like regress.
What's the end goal?
The end goal there.
For you?
At the minute, a video that I'm working on, which is
Okay, let's have a look. We definitely benefit from the audio.
Yeah,
because there's a lot happening there.
Definitely.
And without the audio, I can't focus on any one piece.
Yeah.
And if I did focus on one piece, I'm going to miss the message.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm still kind of like playing on that. I've done bits where I've recorded my own voice and kind of tried to put that in, and then use like the automated voice. So yeah, I'm just trying to, that's where I'm at the minute, it's just trying to figure out the audio. But yeah, a bit of audio that I have.
Yeah, show me sort of, maybe hear some examples of that.
May have happened the very moment David Bowie breathed his last breath.
So yeah, there's that bit, which and then the end bit. These are only the 2 bits that I've got audio for the minute.
The television screen is the retina of the mind's eye. Therefore, the television screen is part of the physical structure of the brain. Therefore, whatever appears on the television screen emerges as raw experience for those who watch it. Therefore, television is reality, and reality is less than television.
Who wrote those words?
It's from a film, Videodrome.
Do you agree with what they say?
I think it's quite interesting.
I
It's kind of, it's from, obviously it was that the film was made in like the kind of like the VHS era. So, but it's quite interesting because obviously it's quite an old film, to see how it can be like completely parallel to like today.
Do you see this as being like a documentary?
I suppose it's more like at the minute. I quite like almost like the bit with the David Bowie thing. Like I kind of like using humour within it because it can be quite a heavy topic, and it's kind of like a bit. I like using humour in it to kind of like lighten it and make it a bit more, I don't know, I guess relatable in a way.
Can I make a suggestion?
Of course.
The audio that I've heard,
given
the context in which you're working, how about them speaking in a robotic way? Change them that way. That all the narration all the way through it is emphasising how robots are taking over, because
definitely.
they're the ones that are actually presenting it to you.
Yeah.
Do you see that as being feasible?
I think I've tried bits of that with it, and I think I'll figure that out more once I've got the rest of the audio sorted, because when I had it all robotic, it kind of felt a bit like overwhelming and a bit like maybe like too much.
Maybe do them at different
so
speeds
like
as well?
I definitely need to try that and chop that up and stuff.
I think the subject that you've decided to go with is going to lead to some interesting discussions. Some will see it as humorous. Some will see it as scary. But it's certainly contentious. But isn't that what it's all about? Do you not want to promote discussion?
Definitely.
And perhaps understanding?
Completely.
Absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
Well, I've had to score you. And I came in with the mindset that nobody gets 100%. But you have in 2 sections. When it comes to the work presented, I'm giving you 70% for now, and I know that that's going to go up. Originality, experimentation, I was like that, but I've gone for the 70 again. Contextual understanding, I'm giving you the 100%, the top mark from that, because I think maybe not to begin with, but you eventually certainly put it across to me that I understood what you were doing. Critical analysis, again, I was in 2 minds, but we'll go for the 70. Potential to develop, definitely 100%.
Thank you very much.
And I can't wait to see the finished article, to be honest.
Thanks.
Okay, well, what are you going to show me today? What is it you're working on?
I've got some finished things, but I've got something in the works. So, do you want me to show you the finished things? Because
I'd like to see what you've got in the works first, if that's okay.
Well, funny word just talk about borders, because it's basically all about it, like borders. Because I get quite homesick a lot, because obviously city's completely different from where I'm from, because I'm from just a Scottish village called Canonbie, like middle of it's like not middle of nowhere, but it's like
Dumfries and Galloway.
Well, I think it's only like 5 miles away from Hawick.
Lovely part of the world.
Oh, it is.
So the transition then from rural life to city life has been dramatic.
It's been definitely like weird, because the only times I've ever been to cities was only for just visiting family, or because my brother went to Glasgow uni, so Glasgow was one of the only cities I'd really visit. So, and even then it was like a Scottish city.
My hometown.
Was it? I love Glasgow, mate.
That was a long time ago. Right, let's have a look, and then maybe that will all make sense to me.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it's a work in progress.
Well, it's. I feel like it's going to be a thing that takes a while. So a lot of this footage is taken from around Eskdale Moor, in Dumfries and Galloway, because there's the Buddhist temple there, San Ming.
My friend goes there a lot.
Oh, it's fantastic.
She lost her arm in a motorbike accident and her husband, and she lives in Cumbria now, and that's where she goes for her peace of mind.
Sometimes you just have to. It's such a fantastic place, and it's built on part of the. It's built on like a ford in a river, where there's like two rivers meet, so it has a powerful feeling when you go there.
Have you given this a title?
So far it's a working title, but it's north and southern because it goes from north to south.
Are you going to put any narration with this?
I'm wanting to narrate some of the poetry I've written for it. I don't want it to be completely silent.
What do you want this to convey when it's finished?
I want it to definitely kind of have a homesick feeling. I want it to kind of have like a kind of somber feeling.
Well, can I make a suggestion?
Aye?
Yeah, great you want to showcase your poetry, but as I've been sat watching this, listening to you talk to me, I heard the narration for that.
Yeah, do you think I should just like monologue over it? Aye?
Definitely. That's my opinion, because
No, that's a good idea actually.
you're personalising it, you're underlining this feeling of the spiritual side of it, or whatever that you've said. Film looks great, this is now going south, I take it.
Yeah.
See, I can follow that because of what you explained to me.
You think maybe if it was just the poetry, it would be a bit lost in
I
translation?
think if this was just maybe coming over with the poetry rather than your dialogue,
Aye.
would somebody seeing it for the first time without being told what it's conveying, understand what it's conveying? Do they think they're looking at it to listen to your poetry?
Right.
And that's the background.
Oh, right. Ah, yeah.
But the two should be together, shouldn't they? It should be, they both complement the same story.
Open the wrong one, didn't I?
It's all right.
So I used to, when I was younger, I'll give a bit of
Oh, we're in Russia, okay.
I'll give a bit of pretense to this. When I was younger, when I was around 13, I used to make ambient music. So
I don't know why you're laughing. Somebody has to.
I used to
It's all art. I'm going to be hypercritical,
Yes.
so I mean, don't take anything to heart.
No, no.
Looking at your completed one and your work in progress, something that comes to mind to me is you're producing this as if you're going to be the audience, which means you then understand it's everything that's in it. I come in off the street and you play that for me with no introduction whatsoever. I don't know what message I'm going to get from that and from your work in progress. For instance, in this we have the acrylic writing. Perhaps you should be throwing in a few words.
Yeah.
You know, the circle continues, whatever, so that somebody who doesn't know you can walk away knowing the message that you're getting across. You can leave it for everyone to put their own interpretation to it, but if you do that, you're not getting your message across.
Yeah.
You have a specific message that you want to impart. So, going back again now to your work in progress, I think the theme that you're developing here, you know, the difference from where you've come from, the journey, if you like, is very personal to you. And I think with your voiceover, without making it arty, just be you.
Yeah.
So that film up there then, yes, we're seeing views, etc., but we're hearing your voice. That film is you. It's not about anyone else's journey. It's you could make it more general, but I think you're wanting to make people know that it's how you feel.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So filming, can't criticise it, absolutely great, and I think some of the views you've chosen will really underline the difference between the two cultures, the two worlds. But looking at those pictures doesn't tell me how it's changed you and how it's affected you.
Right.
But I think your voiceover could do that.
So do you think maybe for this, if we go back on kind of editing this, maybe when it has like the text, instead of maybe that has the text itself, but maybe add subtitles which are my own to the actual text which is already ingrained on the video rather than...
Personally, yes, I would agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, because again, you know what you're looking at and you know what it's supposed to represent. It doesn't have to be done in a dry, documentary way, because you're not a dry documentary person.
Aye.
So whatever you do put on that, subtitles or whatever, let them reflect you. This is the way I speak. You know, this shit keeps happening. You might want to say that. It's, you know, war is a never-ending thing. This shit never stops happening.
Yeah.
You know, if that's how you speak, be you. You're the artist. You want people to walk away knowing you. Don't try to, I saw something by so-and-so, I want to do that. No, I want to be Will. I want people to remember Will. And I certainly think you're going the right way. I've got to score you. The work presented to me, it's a work in progress. The quality of the work up to now is good. Your explanation of it, eventually, made a lot of sense to me. And I can actually see quite a powerful emotional project by the time you've finished. So, but we've got a long way to go yet.
Oh yeah.
But I'm giving you 60% from that.
That's something.
That's a 2-1. The originality, experimentation, because you've gone from this to what you're on to now, and that, I think this journey thing of yours and the personalisation of it is fairly original. And for you, it's definitely experimental. So I like that too. So we're going to go for the 60 again.
Yeah.
Contextual understanding. But I'll tell you what, I think you have a better contextual understanding now than you did 5 minutes ago.
Oh Christ, yeah.
But you've said it. I might have given you the gun, but you fired the bullets. You're down to 50% because that's going to improve. That's going to improve. Critical analysis. There's not a lot to analyse. And to be, I'd probably rather, that would probably, no, because I think that would have an effect on how I look at your work. Because your work, any work of art, is going to be seen by people who have never met you and know nothing of you. But had I read the blog post before, I get an idea of who Will is, but that might not be what you're trying to put across in your work. And I don't want that bias. Critical analysis. The only criticism I'm going to give is overthinking.
Yeah.
You know, anything that's great in life, if you look around at some of these great buildings in Liverpool, they're all clean lines. There's not overthought gone into it. You know what your message is. Just bang it out there.
Yeah.
You're going to give you 50% again.
This is like a C so far. I'm sorry.
No. But you've got the potential to develop, which brings you straight up.
Nice, Mike.
So I mean, we've got 2 60%. There's a 2-1. 2 50%. That's a 2-2. And the first.
Fine.
And that's at this stage. If I was to come back in a few weeks, I'm sure it would change, and I'm sure it would change in a more positive way.
Yeah.
So this is your work here we're looking at.
Yeah, so you see the top one, that was a still life that I created of a piece of coal. And then I created like a silhouette and ripped it out, and then I exhibited them together with these boxes full of charcoal as a way of like showing the preciousness of the coal to these communities. And then when you take it away, it's just left with an empty void with negative space. I don't know whether you can see that.
Can this one here?
Yeah.
Explain this one to me, please.
So that one, you know, the flooding that's been happening in South Yorkshire and all over Yorkshire really. It was just a quick. I was a bit stuck in what I was doing, so I thought I'd just create something quite gestural, you know, just whack a load of stuff with charcoal on some paper. And it was to do with the flooding and Boris, and I don't know if you've seen the interviews, but Boris went and nobody was happy to see him at all. It took him 4 days.
With his mob?
Yeah.
So I now understand the 4 days too late.
Yeah. And the bottom one?
Yeah.
That is Scarborough, one of the worst.
Do you know I can that's Robin Hood Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, thank you. And then yeah, so they so obviously that's one of the poorest communities in the country.
Seaside towns are unfortunately overlooked.
Yeah.
I lived in Blackpool for over 30 years. again, drink, drugs, poverty, crime, because people come from outside the area to live there.
Yeah.
You know, the streets are paved with gold, which obviously they aren't.
Yeah.
And the one that I'm really interested in is this Britain right one.
Yeah.
Tell me
What would you
about it.
think of it? Can you get anything?
I see division.
Yeah. I wanted to create two forces almost coming together, but they'll never come together in this sense. I don't know, it was more of just playing with charcoal and the techniques I could make, but I wanted to create two figures almost. They would combine against each other, the same to the left, the same to the left really.
But they're identical.
Yeah, they're identical, yeah. Oh, that's
Are they meant to be identical?
I think so in a sense. I wanted it to be mirrored. But everyone's the same, isn't it, really, I guess.
So what differentiates them?
The space, I guess. I'm not sure.
Well, that doesn't differentiate them, that's just keeping them
that's just
apart.
something that's there.
But how does the viewer know who's the good and who's the bad, who's the left and who's the right?
No one does.
There's a message there.
Yeah.
But you haven't thought about that, have you?
No, not really. It was just really an experiment, just messing about. You know what I mean? It's too in your face and what the message is. I don't want my art to become solely activism, if that makes sense.
Well, you've actually preempted me because that was going to be what I was going to suggest.
Yeah.
That maybe there is too much of that. But is that the bad thing? Because that's how you feel.
Yeah, I know. That's a battle I've been fighting within myself. Is how do you keep something being? You don't want it to become linear. Do you know? I want it to show what I feel without telling someone this is the case or this is how you should feel. It should be more of this is how I feel. I'm going to show you, and then you can make your own decisions. You know, or you can see what you want from it. I want it to stand alone as art. If that makes sense.
It does make sense. So, if you were in a gallery tomorrow putting all your work up, would you have explanatory notes with them?
No, definitely not.
So you want people to look at it and take away their thing about it?
I'd probably create a title that could lead you away or whatever, or but just to illustrate.
Do any of these have a title?
No, not at the minute. That's usually the last thing I create. So I see how the work stands and I see in what scenario it gets shown, and then I'll just decide whether it needed that. Because a lot of the time I don't like titling work. A lot of the time I think it like to say it tells you what it is, rather than I'd like there to be some ambiguity.
It just brings me to a thought to somebody I was talking to earlier. Their work, what they were producing, I went, that's great. And you're looking at it, you know exactly what it is, because it's come from you, you understand it. But had you not explained it to me, I wouldn't know what I was looking at. So sometimes there has to be, you don't have to agree, but maybe it's a guide.
Yeah,
you know, point people to a certain to a certain thing. For instance, I mean, you talk about something. I love that with the coal being taken out. You know, the heart. The concept is fantastic. But if that was in a gallery in Liverpool tomorrow, somebody come up and go, I like what he's done. They wouldn't know what it was.
No, I guess not. I feel like in the way that I showed it, you would. With, like I said about the first boxes with the coal and everything. I think it was quite apparent. I got that from feedback. It was, but then again, that's in a scenario where a lot of people know my work. So maybe you're right.
Maybe you need to come out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't show it to people you know.
No, yeah.
That's the easy way. Because people you know aren't going to hurt your feelings.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
I'm not going to hurt your feelings either because there's a lot of work going into them, and the explanations. I mean, it's all things that are very dear to my heart. But I've got to put a critical head on, and all I would say is, even I'm struggling to put it into words. What I want you to put into words. I don't know, call it coalless community. As in soulless community.
Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah.
Lines.
I think you are right. I think that it needs some kind of gateway in, doesn't it?
So the work presented in tutorial, how will I describe it? Reflections on society.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
one.
going to be my next poem. Reflections on society. Oh, I do like that. How long have you been a student now?
This is the third year within university, so 5 years in total.
Has your work changed in that time?
not considerably since the probably second year of university, so it's probably the fourth year doing charcoal. I often venture outside of that into sculpture, into different stuff, but at the minute, charcoal just seems the most fitting to me.
What do you think your work says about you?
I'm an anarchist. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. It's an expression of myself, and to put that into words I feel quite challenging.
But to say it's an expression of myself is a bit of a cop-out. Who are you? Who is this person you're expressing?
I'm expressing the person that I just not that I feel hard done by, because I want to get the opinion out there of what I feel and what the people around me feel and why we are the way we are.
And for all this darkness and blackness that has led us to where we are, who's going to lead us out of it?
That's the end. That's what I can't say.
Do you not think that perhaps you have a moral duty to show some light as well as just showing the dark? What you're doing is you're giving us history, but what your work is not doing is showing me you're learning from history. What you're saying is history is continually repeating itself, and that no good ever comes out of it.
I don't see how any good will come out of the current political situation.
So what's the answer?
I don't know what the answer is, I'm just raising a question.
What's your question?
A question? No, let's do a question. Let's do a question rather just explaining. I feel hard done by the sense that I can't name one working class artist that tackles working class issues in Yorkshire.
I'm trying to think how I can leave you with some positive thoughts, because it's coming across to me, and I could be wrong, this is only my opinion. I think you've got yourself into a creative rut.
Yeah, I can see that.
There needs to be more than look what they did to us.
I guess that, yeah, no, I understand that, yeah.
What would have happened if they hadn't shut those pits down?
It was less so to do about shutting the pits down, it's more to do with the way they tackled shutting the pits down. It's the way they didn't offer a replacement. It's the way now that in Brexit, they misled all the people and told them we had jobs. And The Guardian and several other newspapers have predicted it's going to be 750,000 jobs lost. Over the miners' side, there are only 20,000. So 750, that's why, I don't know, maybe that's why I'm just feeling so bleak about it, isn't it? I don't know the answer. So that's
You're letting the system beat you.
What's that, sorry?
You're letting the system beat you.
I guess.
It's grinding you down. You're not standing up for Yorkshire, for those people. You've abandoned them because they were abandoned. You're not offering any hope to anybody. How old are you?
I'm 20.
You're 20 years old. You've got 60 years ahead of you, 20 years behind you. I know, because I was just like you at your age. In fact, I was probably a hell of a lot more militant than you. But I know how I think now. Because certain events in your personal life will change your outlook, will change your thing. And I'm taking some positivity from that, because I would hate to think that for 60 years that's all you're going to do is look back and see bad stuff. You know, because I think it's a responsibility of an artist, whether it be a musician, a painter, a sculptor, whatever, to present a picture of aspiration. Because if you can't do that, we might as well all give up.
Yeah, I get that. I just feel from my narrative, it wouldn't feel genuine to me. If I don't feel it, I can't create it.
But you will.
I will over time.
But you could probably make a start by looking for it. Which means taking your nose out of history books and looking out the window.
Yeah, I guess that. But then you look out the window, then I see all the high rises getting built. People not getting paid, the workers not getting paid anything.
I look out that window and I see tons of construction.
Yeah.
Loads and loads of construction, more than in any city in this country at the moment. I see development, I see progress, I see people being employed.
But yesterday I had a bloke, a drug dealer, run through our house at our home, burging through our door, on the run from the coppers. Do you know what I mean? And then I see that, and then I'm told to look outside and be positive about the upper class buildings that are being bought when there's people, do you know what I mean, running through my bleeding house because they're running away from the police.
What's building roads got to do with upper class people
Because no, building you see all the high rises and stuff that get built. They're getting built for the upper classes to make more money. They're not getting built as public buildings. What are those buildings they're getting built? Do you know what I mean?
Do you know exactly what they're getting built for? What they're going?
No, I honestly don't, and that's something I need to look at. But then, do you know what they're getting built for?
Rewind a minute. What was that you said?
But do you know what they're getting built for?
That's something I need to look into.
Yeah, I understand that, but
every positive suggestion I put your way, you've hit it back to me with negativity.
I don't know. I feel like if I disagree, I've got to say. Yeah.
I mean, I used to break in the pit yard at night to steal coal to give to the old people burning the fires. Yeah. People were bringing food parcels in. I did a tour of radio stations collecting money from working men's clubs, things like that. There was a lot of positive stuff come out there.
Completely.
They tried to kill the spirit of the North.
Yeah.
They failed.
And they did fail, but then I see the travesty is that they tried. It's great.
They tried, but we can't change that. But we can work our hardest to make sure they don't do it again. Your work presented. I've got to do. I mean, it's just an exercise, but I've got to do this marking, and I've got to think about how I've marked everybody else. Of the 3 people that I've seen this morning, you're very, very passionate about what you're doing. You have very, very strong beliefs. Your work's dramatic. I like that. So the way that work was presented to me, I'm going to give you, it's a 2-1, 60%. Originality and experimentation. What do you think?
That's lower at the minute. It'll help after the exhibition I've got in the next.
I mean, I'm here to be hypercritical, so I'm going to agree with you on that one. I feel. I mean, there's a George Orwell feel to everything, so it's not particularly original. But you've put your own slant on it. I'm going to go for 50% of that.
Okay.
Contextual understanding, I think that's through the roof. I think you totally understand the context of what you're doing there. Potential to develop. Today, it's not as high as it could be because you're not. I don't want to sound like Bill. I don't see it as developing. I see you illustrating the same theme but in different ways. I think
is that not developing within itself? Do you not think?
Not compared to the way that having listened to you speak, and I can feel the passion you've got. You need to channel it, I think. And yeah, I mean, we can't ignore the past or the bleakness of it, but you've got to find a bit of light somewhere. If you don't, you're going to crack up. You know,
I'm halfway there.
You know, I'll be reading the paper one day, and there he was hanging from a beam, and that was his latest work of art.
That was it. Yeah.
You know, we can't do that. Your potential to develop is huge. But you've got to recognise that.
Yeah.
And I don't think you do at the moment.
I don't know. I really like to say I'm just doing it wrong.
I think rock was too harsh a word. I couldn't think about anything.
No, I get what you mean.
But I think
I
you've got lots of potential to develop. We really do. And more than, no offence to any of the others I've spoken to today, I hope I've given you some food for thought.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you've got a great talent, but you've got to channel it.
I know, yeah.
Don't let what you're recording take over.
Yeah.
You're in charge of this.
No,
that isn't. What are you working on?
Well, currently it is this. I used to consider myself a painter of sorts. Now I kind of realise as I've progressed throughout the second year and this year, I sculpt things out of paintings, really, if that makes sense to you.
Talk me through this piece of work.
Well, that's the thing. With my work, I don't spend very long on the things that I make. Like the most time I will spend on a piece is half an hour, and I can kind of relate that to like the kind of world we're living in right now. You know, the instant gratification. You can post things instantly, see things instantly. So it feels fitting that I kind of make work in that same way. Because painting, where I started, I was obsessed with painting and abstract expressionism, and I kind of put the pressure on myself to harbour the entire history of painting, like back from Titian and all that, because there's so much history with the subject. It, I don't know, it was all about the dedication, like during the Renaissance time, it was about the dedication to make a perfect piece and to put hours and hours of work into it, make your own paint, buy a massive board, paint the whole thing a biblical scene. And times have very much changed, and I feel that's reflected in my work.
Yeah, I'd agree times have changed. Times have changed in the way that we can operate, if you like, because you don't have to make your own paint, this, that, or all the other. But the concept of art hasn't changed, has it?
No.
Or has it?
Well, compared to Renaissance times, art has definitely changed, like with contemporary minimalism and all that.
Labels.
We love them.
I don't.
No, they're horrible, but
Unfortunately.
everyone finds it easier to use labels.
No, you're okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's
Just living pattern.
they find it easier to use labels. Remember you said that one? What would you want somebody to take from this looking at it?
Well, the thing is, I had a tutorial yesterday, and but that used to kind of open my eyes as to what I was actually doing, because I've always been quite obsessed with always saying, oh yeah, there's history in this, I base it on abstract expressionism, and there's always been an anchor to painting that's kind of held me back, which has been like a recent development, so I haven't like fully developed into a proper way of explaining it to people. Yeah.
Explain.
One of the rejected pieces that's in the shame pile down there, it's mainly just red, and there was red paint dripping everywhere. It was all over here, and it was Halloween time, so I thought I'd just specify. It's not blood.
See, I haven't seen a more deep, meaningful message to that.
No, I drew like a smiley face down there.
Exactly. See, the message I was getting, you probably think I'm bonkers, is that yes, your art's important to you, but you're not going to bleed for it. You know, it's something you do that leads to the smiley face sort of thing. I'm not explaining this very well, but maybe I saw more in it than you wanted me to, or maybe you're just quite happy to leave it open to interpretation.
I feel that it's personal in a very impersonal way.
That's interesting. And I'm sorry for probing the way I'm probing.
No, that's fine.
Personal and impersonal way. Well, let's keep it personal. Tell me the personal side of this.
Well, basically, these here is just me having a good time. I start my work by first applying all the paint and creating some wacky, colourful thing on the wall. Then I feel it kind of gets to the even more fun bit of creating this weird sculpture aspect to it with the paint, because while it's drying, it's tacky, so you can manipulate it however you want, and I find that the most interesting part of it, which my tutor pointed out to me yesterday is a very vital part that I should go further into. So yeah, it's just me having a nice time, basically.
So, which ties in what I was saying before about that. It's not blood. It's happy smiley
I like
face.
to keep it quite playful.
Playful. I think that describes it pretty well. It's big. It's bold. It's very bright, which is good because it's a complete contrast to where I've just come from, which was very, very dark.
Yeah.
And it does uplift. You might not actually think you do have any responsibilities. What do you think your responsibility is as an artist with your work? What would you hope to achieve with it?
That's the thing, there's something that kind of keeps me up at night. I'm not sure what I want to do, I just know that this excites me and where I'm going excites me, and hopefully I can bring that to an audience. They can interpret it however they want, but they'll see that this was quite creative, like the person who made this clearly is having a good time. I like to bring kind of joy to people in a weird way.
Bit of a risk leaving it open to interpretation, do you think? Or is that part of it?
I feel like it's a risk because people are scary and have scary opinions, but no, I think I should do that because I'm not sure why, I just think that I should. I'm sure I have a reason why, I just don't know how to explain it.
Because until 30 seconds ago I was unclear. Now I've got a much clearer picture of where you're going. And I can see you progressing and becoming more productive. And also you'll incorporate more elements to it. Are you excited by it?
I'm very excited by it.
Because you didn't start out sounding excited, but now you're kind of enthusiastic. Because at the end of the day, that's you there.
Yeah, it's terrifying, but it's...
But that's you up there, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm getting prouder and prouder of what I produce the further I go and the kind of weirder it becomes.
And the terror's great. I mean, I'm 63, and last year was a country that I could still and in my views. This is an open mic night full of people you they're all dancing, all contemporary and stuff. Then this old guy stands up with his poetry and went down the store. Put that cherry, you feed off it. And I can see also, I mean, this is very positive, but I can see there's a very bad side to you as well. And I think that could, would you agree with
that? Possibly.
With life, with a coin, there's two sides to it. And, you know, the positivity is great, as I was saying to the lads before with these very, very dark stuff. There has to be a flip side as well. And I think if you don't recognise that flip side, that you just see that side, it's going to start becoming less experimental and more the same thing.
Yeah, no. I can't do the same thing.
No, I don't think you will. That's why again, I've said this to 2 out of the 3 I've met today, I'd like to come back sometime in the future and see how their work has developed. I think I can see where theirs was going. Yours, probably out of the 3, excites me the more, because I really do think they're at the embryonic stage here, because you've come out of chrysalis. Yes, I'm an artist, look, I've done a portrait, this, but no, all I'm doing is really copying what everyone else has done before.
Yeah.
This is you. This is Shannon. Shannon is now starting to incorporate her into her art. Would you project onto it?
I'm thinking probably like so far maybe planets, because I'm thinking next Monday I'm going to green screen myself, like walking in space, and I'm hoping to project that onto that and then see what happens. Yeah.
If you could pull that off, so we'd actually see you walking around the earth sort of thing, or moving around the earth. Wow, that's ambitious. That brings us to that backdrop again then. Can we, because this will be alive, animated if you like, could you do something like that with the backdrop as well?
Well, like, there's a few things I've done where I've kind of been like dancing in front of it and I've taken photographs and then I've saturated the background so it kind of like brings it out more. So I've done that, but like, I don't know, sometimes when Tutor Peter, he walks past and he goes, I'll just be sitting there doing my stuff and I'm like, oh, it's funny walking past your space because it's like a stage set. Like, I'd never thought of it in that way, it's just because I hate tables and like sitting on the floor. But like, it is kind of like that, but I can see where he's coming from.
I'm glad this goes 100%. And I've probably been on more film sets than him.